how's it going? Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in to the Spirit of Vinyl. My name's Craig. How we doing today? Hope you guys all had a wonderful week. Did you add any more to your collection? I did, of course. I usually do. It's an addiction, people. I can't help myself. So what I added to the collection this week, number one came in The Police, Ghost in the Machine. Pretty cool. Fairly decent shape. All together with this and the other one I'm about to show you, I gave about $12 for it. What do you got to say about the Police? I love the Police. Cool sound. So, great band. My other one I added this week was this Go-Go's album, Vacation. If you see right there, there was a piece of tape, like masking tape. It said 99 cents. It's in fairly decent shape. It's got a few creases here and there. Same with that Police album. I ordered them at the same time from the same place off of Discogs. I gave after taxes and everything, it was $12. Now the Go-Go's, that's one of those bands doesn't fit my genre if you think about it. But the main thing is as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate some of that music. So, and that album's great. It's got good stuff on it, and we'll go deeper into that at a later day. The album I want to talk to you about today is Molly Hatchet, The Deed Is Done. Okay, what can you say? I mean, the cover is fucking awesome. Every Molly Hatchet album looks like this. There's your track listing on the back. Picture of the band. Has this inner sleeve. So, I mean, it's pretty good. Honestly, I've never listened to a Molly Hatchet album in my life. And this album came in the dumpster find. This and a couple more Molly Hatchet albums, and I've never played one. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about this week. I went to Discogs, hit random item on my collection. This came up. I'm like, all right, I guess we're going to listen to Molly Hatchet. First time in my life I've ever listened to a Molly Hatchet album. The only thing I ever knew about Molly Hatchet, of course, is the song Flirting with Disaster. We all know that song. And I was never into that. I mean, it's Southern rock or whatever. And it just wasn't my thing. And then I had those in the dumpster find. So it came up and I played it, and it was pretty good. This album was released November 1st, 84. This version is a Holland. It was made in Holland. The record itself, it's got that cool old school 80s epic logo on it. The record itself is fucking shiny and new, just like all the other ones that were found that day when I found that. I've got this listed as near mint. I've got the cover listed as pretty much near mint, maybe a VG plus. It doesn't have much. There's no dings or scratches or anything else on this. So when I listened to this, it came out in 84, which was a little, Molly Hatchet was kind of, they were really popular in the 70s. And in the 80s, of course, music was changing. We were getting hair metal. We were getting bands like the Go-Go's, and we were getting New Wave was coming in, the British New Wave. And, we had 80s hair metal and everything else. So Molly Hatchet wasn't really fitting that genre. And what I was reading, because I have nothing to compare to besides this being the only Molly Hatchet album I've ever listened to at this point in time in my life. What I've been reading on it is compared to some of the earlier stuff, it's like, oh, they were trying to change their sound a little bit to be more friendly to that decade so they could stay relevant, and it's not very good and things like that. But coming with no frame of reference, I thought it was good. I thought songs were pretty good. Like I said, it is a Southern rock style. It's, Molly Hatchet, Skinner, that style of music. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I'm not going to become a super huge Molly Hatchet fan. I think I'll stick with the 3 albums I have. I have this one and Flirting with Disaster and one other one, all from that late 70s, early 80s era of Molly Hatchet. I think they're still, I don't know if they're still around or not, but they were making records up until the 2000s. It's a pretty good record. And what can you say about Molly Hatchet? So, the cover, their cover artwork has always been iconic. And to me, like when it comes to like the spirit of vinyl, I don't really have any frame of reference for this. So I'm not sure. Like I said, this was found in the dumpster. It was one of Mike's. He must have liked them because he's got three of their records. He must have liked a certain era of Molly Hatchet. And it was bought in Holland. So as an ex-military guy, he must have been over in Europe somewhere when he bought it. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Um, and liked it enough to buy it and bring it back to the United States and keep it in mint condition. Like I said, this thing, it has like no scuffs or scratches. It plays excellent. It's beautiful. It plays great. Um, it sounds really fucking good. Sonically, it's pressed really well. And I'd say it's a pretty fucking good album. It goes for, depending on condition, as high as $20. I mean, it's not worth a whole lot. Anywhere from $5 to $20. Um, I liked it. I thought some of these songs were pretty good. They got good guitar players and good bassists and decent vocalists, and you know, but when I think of Molly Hatchet, I think of like the covers. These covers were iconic in the 80s. And in the late 70s, I mean, people would paint stuff like this on the side of their vans, and it was awesome. So it kind of brings me back to that idea when I was listening to these guys and that era of music and that sound. It brought me back to that. And when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about it as a child and seeing things like the vans with the cool things and the cool covers and how iconic and awesome they are. To me, the covers are so cool looking, but it doesn't really fit the band style. This looks like some sort of heavy metal Judas Priest type album cover rather than, a 70s Southern rock band. But it's good music. They're very talented. It's very cool. I actually enjoyed it very much, and I'll listen to it again. And I'll be listening to more Molly Hatchet as time goes on. And that's the thing about collecting records and having something like that and finding records and having them brought in is this is in my collection, even though I never would have bought it. If I hadn't have found it, I'd never have a Molly Hatchet album. But now I do have some Molly Hatchet albums, and I'm able to enjoy that music. And that's the wonderful thing about this collection and finding that by finding those records in that garbage that one time in that dumpster, it opened me up to a whole lot of other bands that I never even would have thought about listening to. Never would have bought Molly Hatchet. I never would have bought a whole lot of stuff that I have now. And so like I said, and I've had this, it's been a couple of years since I found all these records, and I haven't played this until within the last week or so because I never had. So I still have records over there I've never played before. So I have no idea what's going to happen until I hear them. And when I heard this, I was pleasantly surprised. It's good. I'm never going to become a super fan, but the music's good. It's produced well. It's got great songwriting. It's got a cool cover. It's in very good shape. It's got that cool label, the old school Epic label. Let me get that turned right. I kind of like that look, the font on it, it's not super heavy. It was from the 80s, but European Holland press sounds really good. Sounds as good as anything else. And yeah, like I said, it's not worth a whole lot, but if you want it, I would suggest it. If you run across this record and you're just browsing and trying to find stuff to buy that you've never heard or whatever, go ahead and pick it up and give it a spin. You can probably pick it up for $10, in your local record store or thrift shop or something like that. If it's in decent shape and it plays decent, it'll be well worth your money. So I go ahead and pick it up. I enjoyed it. I'll enjoy it again. And yeah, so to me, the whole spirit of this thing, it was the 70s, and the Southern rock thing was very big. This album was 84, but the band formed in the mid 70s, and this is like their fourth or fifth album in their catalog. So they were fairly well established and people knew who they were. And I do think I can hear it after I was reading some of the reviews, that thing they're trying to change their sound a little bit to fit in with that 80s era so they can stay relevant, which bands did. I mean, lots of bands did that. They changed their sound, they changed their look so they could fit in with what was new and hip or whatever. Doesn't always work. Maybe with these guys it didn't work. I don't know, because like I said, I've got really no comparison. But overall, The Deed is Done. Good album, 3 out of 5 stars. I'd go ahead and give it a listen. This one, like I said, mint condition or near mint condition, very well taken care of. Very cool looking, cool sounding. The press sounds good, no pops, no skips, or whatever. I still get blown away by the fact that I found records like this in a fucking garbage can, essentially, in a dumpster. I found them in a dumpster. And it blows me away that number one, somebody would throw them away. Number two, the universe decided to give it to me. And number three, in the shape that they are in, none of them got ruined. They didn't get crushed. They didn't get water damage or anything. So I count myself lucky. And that's why I want to share all this with you. And that's why we talk about records on this show. So anyway, go ahead and give it a listen. Like I said, you see it in your thrift store, your $5 section of your record store. Go ahead and buy it. You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. You'll have something new to listen to, something different than what you normally listen to, and that'll help expand our minds into other styles of music. And it's a great rock and roll record. It really is. It's a great rock and roll record. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you like what I'm doing here, go ahead down below, click on the little bell or wherever the fuck it is on YouTube. Like and subscribe so you know when I'm putting out something else. I really appreciate you guys watching, paying attention, and enjoying the show. I hope you enjoy the show. Leave me some comments down below and let me know what you guys think. If there's anything I can work on, I'm up for constructive criticism. If you want to go down there and just tell me I suck and to fuck off, then I'll take that too. Because, ultimately, whatever. We know how people are on the internet. But like, subscribe, and I really appreciate you guys listening or watching. And Molly Hatchet, the deed is done. 3 out of 5 stars. Give it a listen. Go ahead and give it a buy. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you all next week.